also at Harvard and other places.
Right.
Until John Muir, Marky Zaki, Casey wrote a paper, submitted to them, and finally
Read all that list.
I was thinking of putting the camera to the side, kind of focus in. I guess so. Here's a trail through down to Lake Vernon.
what I wanna hear you say. Mine already got into the valley.
Yeah.
I'd like to, but they tell me about that, so they still have water, not as much as earlier.
A little bit higher.
Yeah, a little bit higher. Yeah, I'll be there in the Alps probably next,
So Thursday,
October.
I'm on personal art help. Lindsay
Over there.
also personal help.
We're gonna take the Rhine River, it's gonna go from Zurich to.
That's the thing too, is, and you know, it's always, even if you don't feel like you need to be drinking, you should be drinking, you know, like, you're like, oh, like, I don't feel dehydrated, that's when it gets you.
And I'll spend today cutting more of these
Okay.
sometime today
The
too.
other one's
Just
a
so I
bigger
have
one.
plenty.
진짜.
This way and do a little bit. Nice, have a good one. Oh, so we have it there. Oh, you're so sweet. I'll put it in the donation box.
You want me to carry the box back?
Shorts, sleeves,
Yes.